What up, y'all? Let me get myself situated here. Welcome back to the Bootleg Studios of Rant Roller Sports. I see off top I lost another subscriber due to my last video. Good. Everybody that don't want the real, get on out of here. I don't need you. I don't want you. Right? But it's gonna be an interesting live. Maybe some people will tap in. Maybe some people won't. It's supposed to be Rant Roller Sports, right? Hold on. Bam. Let me put this home team on, even though I already did a video about these guys. We already know what shambles they in. But anyway, um, I want to introduce a couple of topics on this live. Um, Obviously, from the title, the first one is who's this year's 21-22 NBA MVP. What do you guys think? I'm going to give you my answer. I'm gonna talk about the eye test and what players from any sport jump out to you on the screen. Like there is something really special about them and how they're moving, either how fast they are, strong they are, how explosive they are, how graceful they are, versus everyone else around them. We're going to talk about that, and I'm going to talk about Chris Paul a little bit as well, the little engine that could. From what I'm noticing, over the last, I would say 3-4, no, not 3-4 years, his whole damn career, Chris Paul gets his team to the playoffs. And last year he got him to the finals. Okay, they lost to the Bucks, but the Bucks were bubbling for a few years now. Giannis has been on the come up, and now he's not on the come up anymore. He's here. He's a perennial MVP candidate, perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate. So when they made that trade for Holiday, that sealed the deal. That was the last piece they needed to put them over the hump. And they beat a very game Phoenix Suns team led by Chris Paul. But okay, let's jump into this NBA MVP topic. The candidates are some usual suspects, right? And not so usual suspects. But anyway, we have Jokic, Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets, center who won the MVP last year. We have Joel Embiid of the 76ers, who's been like an MVP runner-up or something like that. Or he's been in the mix the last 3 or 4 years. I say last 3 years. We got Giannis Antetokounmpo. Give me a like and a sub for getting that name right off top. Who's won back-to-back MVPs and was one of the few players in history to win the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. Right? You got Chris Paul, who I just previously mentioned for the Suns, who has the best record in the league. Yes, Devin Booker's averaging around 26 points a game, so he's definitely the top scorer of the team. But Chris Paul is the one who put the gumbo together and got that Phoenix team over the hump all the way to the finals last year. LeBron James, as long as he's playing, he's going to be an MVP candidate to me, as long as he's playing anywhere near his prime. This year, he's leading the league in scoring so far at 30 points a game. Even though the Lakers suck, they don't play no defense. And Westbrook has been a horrible move for the Laker brass, bringing him over. The Lakers are not going to make the playoffs this year. So even though I mentioned LeBron, he has no shot. Even if he wins the scoring title, no legitimate shot of winning the MVP this year. You got Jason Tatum from the Boston Celtics, right? Jason Tatum is having probably his best year to date. offensively and defensively. Tatum right now is averaging somewhere around 27 points a game. We also have, if you're just joining me, we're talking about the NBA 2022 NBA MVP discussion. And who else? Am I forgetting anybody right now who's in the discussion? Steph Curry, of course, you could always throw him in the mix. He's having another excellent year, averaging 25 points a game. There might be one or two others. DeRozan is an MVP candidate this year to me, 27 points a game. He's got the Bulls right there in the playoff mix. You got Kevin Durant, KD, but to me, he's not really an MVP candidate this year. I did some research, and let me see if I can do this while I'm still streaming. I don't know if you guys will be able to see me. Let me know in the comment section, or I guess I'll see it in the playback of this. But I did some research before I started this live, and Jokic is having his best season offensively, and the key is defensively. He's having his best season. He's up there in offensive win shares and defensive win shares. Player efficiency ratings, he's near the top. He's near the top in every major category. All win shares included, wins above replacement. These are analytical stats, advanced analytics that they use to determine a player's performance on the court. And this year, statistically, Jokic is, to me, heads and above the MVP this year. He's averaging somewhere around 26 points a game, 13 rebounds, and like 8 assists. And defensively, even though he's not leading the league in blocks or assists, or he doesn't put up high block and assist and steal numbers, his defensive win share rating is near the top. So he's improved on defense. The only knock that you could say on his team is that his team is not one of the better defensive teams, and they don't have one of the best records in the West. They're probably like the 6th seed right now. But he's missing Devontae Murray's his name. I forgot his first name. And maybe one other person he's missing. So, like, that play on an all-star level. So, Jokic right now, in my opinion, is the MVP. Now, this is where I might lose a couple of you guys. So, Chris Paul, most actual valuable player this year. I mean, watching him his last 3 seasons, and the last 2 specifically, Chris Paul doesn't score 25, 30 points a game, so this is why he's not a serious MVP candidate, but he should be, because he's like a player coach on the floor, and he provides spiritual leadership, and this is something analytics and statistics do not speak on, is your spiritual power, your ability to galvanize and motivate other teammates, even coaches, even improve the coaching of your coaches. And that's what Chris Paul has been doing, specifically the last, I would say, 3 years or so. I'm blaming James Harden now completely for that blow up in Houston. As you can see, he's had troubles everywhere he's gone now, pretty much except for OKC. And then you have the best player. A lot of times the MVP is a political award. It's a storyline award to promote the league, really. You choose a player at the beginning of the year that they want to promote and get behind, that they figure is going to be successful, and that he could possibly be a face of the league. But the best player is Giannis. He's proven it. The last few seasons, he's proven that he's the best player in the league right now, over LeBron, over KD, over the injury-prone even Kawhi Leonard. Once Giannis rose to the finals, elevated his team to the finals, and then won, and then capped it off with a 50-point game. I mean, LeBron is my man. Everybody knows who follows this. The Lakers is my team. But Giannis has surpassed LeBron as the league's best player. And if it wasn't for the fact that he's foreign born, if Giannis was an actual American, he would be the face of the league right now, without a doubt. That 50-point game to cinch the championship for the Bucks cemented him as the top guy. Kevin Durant is 34 years old. Chris Paul is 36, 37 years old. LeBron is 36, 37 years old. Kawhi Leonard right now is probably closer to closing in on 30 if he's not 30 already. So a lot of the past stars are aging out. Look at Westbrook. He's hit a wall. A few different guys, and the young guys are coming up. The young guys being Embiid, Giannis, Jokic, Ja Morant, and a few others. But to me, Giannis is the MVP this year. And I want to take you guys in another direction. They have these endless debates about who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. And they were debating this on what's the morning show with not First Take, one of those morning shows. Anyway, and what's up, Joshua? You think Joel is the MVP? Joel Embiid? Well, you can make a case, but when you study the analytics and you study the statistics, and then you also look where Jokic has Denver positioned to make not a championship playoff run, but a playoff run, it's tough. You could go Embiid, but I don't think, especially with no Ben Simmons this year. So that's a good point, Joshua. You definitely could go Embiid this year. But Jokic won it last year. He's having an even better season this year, and he's missing 2 all-star players from his team. So I want to kind of give him the nod. Do you think, Joshua, that Joel is better than Giannis? Now, that's the question. They're both in the same conference. They both should be running into each other in the playoffs every year. They're both around the same age. Who's better, Joshua, Joel or Giannis? That's really the question, because their numbers are really close as well this year as well. So thanks for chiming in, Joshua. I appreciate it. But I got into the topic of Jordan versus LeBron. It was First Things First. That was the show with Nick and what's the other light-skinned guy? Chris Broussard. And Broussard made a point about Jordan over LeBron as the greatest player ever. And he said that Jordan's game aesthetically was the most pleasing to the eye to watch. And that got me to thinking, do we have biases towards players with a more prettier game? And it doesn't matter if it's football, basketball, whatever it is, MMA. Do we favor the athlete with the prettier, more pleasing game to the eye? Who comes to mind? Darryl Strawberry from the Mets, very graceful. Ken Griffey Jr., who had a fantastic game to look at. Aaron Rodgers, I love watching him play football. Aesthetically pleasing, he's smooth. Pat Mahomes, love watching him play football. Barry Sanders from back in the day. Deion Sanders, right? Bo Jackson. Who to you guys has one of the prettiest games, pleasing aesthetically to the eye, that glues you to the screen and makes you watch, even if they play for an opposing team or they're not, or they don't play for you guys' team? So hit me in the comment section with you got. Excuse me. Let me take a sip of this Red Bull. I can't talk right now. All right. I got Bo Jackson, Jordan, Michael Vick, Deion Sanders, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, Randy Moss. Of course, there's guys like Muhammad Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor. Who's pleasing to the eye as far as who do you guys glue in to watch? No matter what. And I'm gonna give you the reason I say that. A guy you can compare Tim Duncan's career with Kobe. They're very similar as far as accomplishments. They played in the exact same era, but Kobe played for the show for LA. Tim Duncan played in San Antonio. Kobe had a way more flashy style, more pleasing style to the eye, except when he was jacking up 45 jump shots. But he still was more pleasing to the eye to watch than Tim Duncan for most viewers. If you're like a coach or something like that, then you would probably say you prefer to watch Tim Duncan. And just like I'm a boxing guy. So a lot of people think Mayweather's style was boring. Oh, he's always ducking and running. Mayweather didn't run. He mastered the art of defensive boxing to the point where it looked like he was always running. But no, because you're ducking and slipping and bobbing punches, that doesn't mean you're running. I've seen boxers actually get in the ring and actually run around the ring. Floyd never did that. And I liked watching Floyd because I thought his boxing style was genius. So same way I enjoy watching Barry Sanders, even though Emmitt Smith was a more productive runner. If you had your choice between the two, who would you rather watch? You would say you'd rather watch Barry Sanders, right? There were better baseball players and football players than Bo Jackson, but I don't know if there were too many better running backs than Bo Jackson. But Bo Jackson was an all-star in baseball and football, and he was pleasing to watch. He would hit 500-foot home runs. He could scale the wall and snatch home runs back from over the fence. And he would either strike out or hit a home run. It seemed like he was one of those type of guys. And even when he struck out one time and he took the bat and snapped it over his leg, and everybody was like, oh, wow. Randall Cunningham, the quarterback from the Eagles, had a nice, aesthetic, beautiful game to look at. Yeah. So you guys hit me in the comment section. What do you think? Who do you think has a pretty game or a game that you just tune in to watch? Sometimes it's not always about pure production, because production-wise, not too many guys were more productive than Karl Malone at power forward, right? But you would prefer to watch someone that had a little bit more style about them. You might prefer to watch somebody like Giannis's game or even Kevin Garnett, someone Chris Webber. You'd rather watch his game than Karl Malone. Charles Barkley, you'd rather watch his game. So you guys let me know in the comment section. I'm going to come back with a part 2 to this because I want to give you guys some visuals. But yeah, hit me in the comment section with your opinions on these topics. Let me know what you want to hear me speak on, where your interests lie, and I'll get back to you pretty soon. Thank you, Joshua, for checking in. Peace.